Hello and welcome back to another Space Engineers showcase video. In today's video, we're looking at another land vehicle, and this one is called the ATV-L4 Warrior, which is this lovely thing right here. So it's a small, very solid land vehicle that makes some great use of the hinge block to have an opening and closing door on the side. Pressing F10 and finding it in the spawn menu, there it is. I also have this one over here. I'm not sure if I've actually done this one yet, but never mind. The Warrior is 177 small blocks using no DLC blocks and no mods. Now what we'll do is have a quick look around the outside, then we'll drive it around for a bit and see how well it handles when I put it over some cliffs. So at the very front here, this is what we get. We've got a camera to view straight forward, which is going to be very useful. To the left and the right, we got some lights to light up the darkness, especially useful if you're using a very dark mod. And as we move around the side here, we've got some great block works using the battered armored skin. We'll come around to see our lovely wheels, which have raised us off the ground just enough to make sure we don't damage ourselves when going over a bump. Then we get to this part right here. So this is our doorway to get in and out. It has a button there which will activate a hinge right there, and it will flop down, allowing you to get in and out. And then once you're in, the driver in that seat over there can then press a button and it will close everything up, sealing you in, making sure you're nice and safe. As for the inside, we've got 3 passenger chairs and of course our control seat to drive this thing. We've got some programmable blocks at the back there, and we've got some LCD screens over here, one large one telling us our speed and one just above there telling us the time. These blocks are just in front of a hydrogen engine which is going to be used to power this thing, as well as a few batteries that have been dotted around. Now if I pull out there, we'll come back to that a bit later and move along. We'll then come to the back of this vehicle where we've got 2 antennas just for decoration, but it's always handy in case one breaks. Then we get to the very back where we've got ourselves a spare wheel, 2 brake lights, and a small cargo container. Coming all the way up and above, there's not going to be too much else to talk about. There is a timer block right there with another battery. We'll see the chairs where we saw earlier. Then towards the front, there's our hydrogen engine and a lovely glass block with a remote control block which has our camera sitting on it. And with that all done and out of the way, it's time for me to get into my character, and we can press the button on the side. So pressing that is going to go all the way down nice and slow, allowing us to get inside. Once we're inside, we can press number 2, or 3 in fact, and it will raise everything up. There is one little problem with this. If you were to say lose power or to switch off the power, the doors will simply flop down and you could risk damaging them, but it's not too much of a problem if you keep this thing charged up. So turning the power back on and raising up the doors, there we go. We're now ready to go. So looking around, this is the view we get. So our front view is a little bit compromised, but luckily we do have that camera to view through. But we have to access that by pressing number 1 and taking control over the remote control block. So doing that, we've got a few more controls over our wheels, lights, and camera. So 3 and 4 will be to switch on and off the lights around the vehicle. 1 and 2 is to raise and lower our wheels. And number 5 is how we're going to view straight forwards. Let's come out of there and go into third person, because it's now time to drive this around. So undoing the parking brake and going forwards, this is what we get. We've got some very light controls when turning. As you can see there, trying to turn around, we do sort of tip up a little bit. So we do need to be a little bit careful when going at some speeds to make sure we don't flip this thing over. But we are moving at around 20 meters per second, which seems to be our absolute cap. And we can do a little hop. There we go, we're nice and heavy so we don't exactly hop too far. Yes, we seem to be very smooth when driving around. So doing a sharp turn, this is what we get. We are raising up quite a bit. And we almost flipped over. If I was to hold down on the D key, we would have definitely flipped this over. But as it stands right now, we've got a very solid vehicle to go out and explore. You could always remove one of the antenna blocks on the side there and replace it with an ore detector and use this to go around and mark out different ore patches when you're first starting out on your adventure on a new planet. But now, let's make things a little bit more fun. Let's come into here and find our wheel blocks. And we're going to remove our speed limits. So where is that? There we go. Unlimited speed. Then we want to have power. We want to have strength. And I suppose we could just whack up the steering angle, because who cares about that? And away we go. So now we're on maximum speed, maximum power. Probably not a good idea to put power all the way up. We're now doing... Oh, God! And... Wow, okay, we're bouncing a bit more than I was anticipating. There we go, we're now upside down. What have we done to this poor thing? Let's just go to copy you and paste you all the way around like so. There we go. What kind of damage have we done? Not too much. I'm very surprised that the remote control block has survived. Let's just come into here and just switch down the power a little bit. I think the power is kind of the problem here. Let's just go like that. And now move forwards. Strength is what I was talking about. Yes, let's go forwards and go. So we had quite a bad crash, but we were still perfectly fine thanks to the blocks protecting everything. So the last vehicle got absolutely destroyed, so I've spawned in a new one and added a gyroscope onto it to allow us to control it mid-air, which is going to severely help when going along at these very high speeds. Look at us go. 91 meters per second, that's not good, that's a cliff edge and a tree. I should not have tilted like that. Oh god, this is not going to be good. Here we go. Oh, please land, please land. It's going to just explode, isn't it? Wow, we got ejected out and now we're underneath the map. Look at this, this is very weird to look at. It looks like there's an underground world. No, coming out of there and coming around to here, I have no idea how that happened. It's like an ejector seat just launching me out. Yes, there we go. That is now dead. And we've left a nice hole in the ground, so let's just go and shove it in a new one. And we'll go from here once again. So it's a nice land vehicle to play around with. It's quite fun, because it doesn't seem to blow up too much. And I've just instantly tilted that over. Yes, as I was saying, it's a very nice land vehicle. It's got a great shape to it, and it can be utilized for a lot of different stuff, depending on what you shove onto it. You've got enough room on the sides there to fit a Gatling gun if you wanted this to be an assault vehicle, and there's plenty of room at the back there where the conveyors are going towards the tyre for you to attach a turret. But anyway, that is it for the ATV-L4 Warrior. It's a very nice little vehicle to play around with, and if you do wish to play around with it, there'll be a link to it in the description below. So thank you all for watching, I'll be back with another video some point soon. Bye bye.